do that. Taron Armstrong, make the most of this guy, Cairns fans, because he might be playing in better leagues in the future. His numbers at home this season have been sensational, so he goes in the Sportsbet Same Game Multi. Melbourne to win, Taron Armstrong to do his thing, 15 points and 4 assists, and Daly, as always, setting up his teammates. Enjoy the game, Cairns and Melbourne.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
I think the biggest takeaway from my summer was, essentially, I failed. My life dream was to get drafted. I've always feel like I'm going to eventually get to the NBA whenever it happens, but, when I was a kid, I'd dream of getting drafted, being in the green room, shaking the hand and doing all that stuff, and sitting there watching the draft just by myself, and I don't get picked, and it was I was sort of 50-50 going really late until I didn't, and then it was just really no opportunities for me, and yeah, I didn't achieve what I was certain I was going to do my entire life. I feel like that, makes you grow a lot, and I'm definitely better for it. I feel so much more free. Every shot I felt like was if I don't make this, I'm not getting drafted. And now it's all right, I didn't get drafted, whatever. Now I can actually just play the game, and I definitely feel like for me to maximise the player I can be, I had to go through that.
The Cairns Taipans can't afford the Chris Gouldings and the Nathan Sobeys and the marquee level Australians, and so we try to get them before they become those marquee level guys. And the trajectory for Taron is to be, arguably one of the best Australian basketball players, especially in the last decade or two.
I wasn't really aware, how much 40 wanted me. I was on the FaceTime to Josh Giddey, and he spoke to someone spoke to 40, and then, later that day I was on the phone with 40, and, I was pretty happy to go to Cairns, and I'm really grateful 40, believes in me that much.
He's not your typical 21, 22-year-old. He is cut from a different cloth. He's quiet, but he speaks volumes in terms of leadership. He has a genuine work ethic. He's not one of those guys that talks about getting in the gym at 6 a.m. He doesn't. He is a basketball junkie.
Taron Armstrong, geez, it's hard to hear the words "I failed," isn't it, when you've got such lofty standards of yourself? Do you think he's NBA bound eventually, Halls?
I think he's going to get his opportunity next year, whether there'll be workouts in there, summer league, whatever that is. I know there's a two-way opportunity potentially on the cards because he nearly had it last year and that fell through, but NBA scouts are calling Adam Ford right now, and they've added Cairns to their schedule when they come down in January, as they always do in the NBL, to see a bunch of guys like Alex Tui, like the next stars. They're going to want to have a look at Taron Armstrong as well.
One man who knows exactly what it takes to deliver in the NBA is Matthew Dellavedova. What have you made of him of late?
He's kind of been a little bit up and down by Dudley's standards. I thought he was really good last game. He had the 16 points, the 9 assists, and about 6 boards. But I feel like when Chris Goulding was missed those handful of games, I feel like it kind of hurt Delly. He's a capable scorer, but he's still a better distributor. And sometimes when you're playing against bigger guards, Delly can't bully everybody like he's trying to bully my little man right there. But Delly's having an up and down season, but he has to be respected every single second he's on the floor, because he can make the 3-ball when you least expect it. He can rebound, do all the little things and play defense. So I feel like he's had a solid season, but probably not a stellar season so far.
Well, I was nervous for a little bit there because I was watching Nez talk about someone who knows what it takes to make the NBA, and she was looking right at you, Damon. So it pays for me to look at the rundown to know who was coming next. But yeah, I'm with you. When CG is on the floor, it allows you to basically play 4-on-4 because someone's going to sit on Chris Goulding's lap in the corner. Allows more space for Delly to do his thing.
Let's take a look at maybe what the coach's whiteboard says tonight ahead of this clash. Halls, what have you got for Adam Ford, your lookalike?
Well, what I was talking about, my twin, he's got a longer beard than me right now. Pushing the pace. We've seen other teams have success in the last 4 games of really trying to run it up against Melbourne United, and extra efforts. That game against Illawarra, they dominated the glass. The more efforts you get on the offensive glass, the more second chance points, the easier you can score against Melbourne, and then you can try and run from there.
And what about Dean Vickerman?
Dean Vickerman on the whiteboard, it says, everybody calm down. We're still second. We are sitting second on the ladder, and everybody just needs to take it easy. Just get back to the basics, rebound, play one-on-one defense, and look after yourselves, and this road trip will sort them all out, so I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, that's my old coach. I can guarantee you that's not on his whiteboard.
What do you reckon is on there?
No, there'll be a lot of stuff on there, basically having them riled up and ready to go, because he said it again to Ariana that they don't play well in Cairns as well. So that combined with 4-game losing streak as well, they have to come out strong or else we're going to get some stand-up timeouts tonight, Damon.
So you're doing both whiteboards now then. What the hell am I sitting over here for then?
You got your Cairns jacket on.
17 losses between these two teams. Melbourne United hoping to finish their year on a high. Cairns Taipans desperate to break that streak.
Armstrong steps back and takes the responsibility. And this man, Taron Armstrong, putting on a show.
Golding in the corner, tough shot. He makes tough shots. He lives for them.
He can't miss.
Edwards all the way.
Edwards for three. And he stares down the Melbourne United bench.
Dellavedova with the ball handling duties. Gully from deep.
Yeah, it's a happy Boxing Day to everybody as the 12 days of Christmas continues tonight with two teams whose Christmas wish would no doubt be a desperately needed win. The Cairns Convention Centre hasn't been a happy hunting ground for Melbourne United in recent times. In fact, they've lost their last 3 games in this venue, and Cairns would have to believe that they are some sort of chance, particularly considering their last win was against Melbourne United. But that was 80 days ago. Now someone is going to walk out of here tonight with a W as I welcome in Pete Hooley, Damon Lowry. Take a look at the Mitsubishi Motors ladder, and well, we know two teams desperate for a win.
They sure are for different reasons. Obviously, Cairns, they just want to get one more win and try and build on that for Melbourne United. This is the beauty of the playing tournament as well, because now you're playing for something else other than just trying to get into the top 6. You want to finish top 2 and avoid it altogether.
Damon, I heard you just then talk about Melbourne United. You said, don't stress, you're still second. You're not worried if you're Dean Vickerman?
I'm not. I mean, obviously Dean's going to be worried with losing multiple games in a row, but the bones are there for a good season still. They just had a couple little hiccups, some things that they can tidy up. They don't have to reinvent the wheel. They got to get back on the rebounding glass, take care of that end, and they got to just do a better job with one-on-one defense, and they got the personnel to do it.
Pete, Cairns Taipans, we know they've lost their last 13, but 6 of their last 8 losses have been by single digits. They're scoring well, they're close.
Yeah, I think it was after the Tassie loss where Adam Ford said in the press conference, right now, they didn't have injuries at that time, for very rare for them this season, but it's just between the years. Just mentally, and we heard from him in the pre-game show saying they need to trust each other in the fourth quarter when the game gets close. If they do that and they play to the glimpses that we've seen over the 13-game losing streak, they'll be okay.
And Taron Armstrong, this man, all eyes are on him. Pete, you spoke about him during the week. NBA scouts will be coming in January. But tonight, he needs to have a big performance. We know he's their leader, Damon. He's their young leader, but gee, he's crucial.
He's been doing a great job considering their losing streak. He is definitely an NBA talent, and the NBA GMs would not be doing their job if they weren't getting eyeballs on this kid. So what Taron's got to do is he's got to find a way to make his team win. Yes, we know he can score, he can shoot the 3-ball now, he can get on the rim and he can distribute. It's those other intangibles I'm looking for. Like 40 says, the trust. When they get to that fourth quarter, things are going to get tight, and I'm going to be looking at Taron to lead this team.
And Coach Ford spoke to him earlier. Pete, these two guys have only played 8 games together this season. Surprisingly, they've won 2 of their 3 games of when these guys have been playing together.
Yeah, they're going to need big performances from both of them tonight again, because Sam Wardenberg's been very, very good for them. We know he's missed time with injury. So it comes down to guard play. If you can get the better, if one of them can get the better end of a Shea Ely and Matthew Dellavedova matchup, they'll be right in the hunt.
And Rob Edwards found some form again from early in the season when he had 27 points in that game against Brisbane. So he'll be looking to continue that on alongside Taron Armstrong. Well, we spoke about Melbourne United. We know they've lost 4 on the trot. But surprisingly, Damon, it's been the defensive end. They've given up almost 109 points a game in their last 4 losses.
Totally uncharacteristic of a Dean Vickerman coach team, and he'd be scratching his head thinking, how can we be so good historically and with the same exact team that went to the finals championship series last year? What's going on? So they had a few ins and outs. Obviously, Chris Golding, he takes away from their offensive end, but I felt it affected their defense as well. So look, they would have had some nice heart-to-heart chats, and I would be surprised, even though I'm tipping Cairns, I'll be surprised if Cairns ran the score up on them tonight.
And there is that man, Chris Golding, leading the Mitsubishi Motors 3-point ladder. We know how he's shooting the lights out. It sounds like he still might be on a minutes restriction tonight, Pete, which I see you sort of roll the eyes a little bit.
Well, not as much as Damon will, but again, I understand it because he's 36, he's coming off a hamstring, but that minutes restriction was one of the reasons why they lost this game against Tasmania. He couldn't come back in the fourth quarter until there was 4 minutes left on the clock, and Tassie had already wrestled back momentum, so we know how important he is to this team. unbelievable shooter, again, to be leading that after missing so much time. Have a look at the quarter-by-quarter field goals there in the third quarter. He played the 5 minutes in the fourth. He played 3 minutes to start with, or 2.5, and then just came into the stretch. The game was done by then. We know he's the heart and soul of this United outfit.
Minutes restrictions must drive him out. Damon, hey, let's get courtside. Ariana Prather, welcome in.
Hey guys, listen, I can tell you that it is loud. There are a lot of people in the seats here in Cairns. They are excited to see their team. And listen to this, Melbourne has lost the last 3 times they have played here against the Taipans. So if you think by looking on paper, this is gonna be an easy win, I can tell you that it is absolutely not. Let me tell you what it's gonna come down to, that fourth quarter and finishing plays. The Taipans are always in the game, and then the last few minutes in that fourth quarter, things slip away, and Dean Vickerman said it earlier this week, his team has to learn how to finish those plays on offense and on defense. So it's going to be a good one here tonight.
Thank you, Ariana. Looking forward to your thoughts throughout the call. You saw then Sam Wardenberg is back after missing 2 games. And interestingly, Rob Lowe, who started in every game this year, has gone to the bench. Marcus Lee in the starting lineup.
I like this. I like this. I was calling for this for a little bit because I think Marcus Lee's going to just help anchor their defense, because defensively, Damien, that's where they need to get back to, is being a good defensive team. It's going to start with the foundation in the middle.
And Rob Lowe letting the team down last week could be a little bit of a, just have to come off the bench, big fella. But be ready to go when you get out there.
And this is round 14, the first of round 14, the Hungry Jacks NBL. Of course, we are in the middle of the 12 days of Christmas. Straight away, they go to Lee, and there is Jack White in the dunker spot so often. Finishes around the rim.
And that's what having Chris Golding back in the lineup does. Even though he didn't get the shot, the attention that he gets off of a ball screen set up that whole play.
I think we heard from Ariana, lost their last 3 here at Melbourne United. You've got some theories. Is it the humidity? Is it playing at Christmas time? What is it about Melbourne United they struggle to win in this venue?
Well, I've talked about this just from my own experience of going up to Cairns was the toughest road trip, because all your normal routine on game day, as soon as you step outside when you like to go get a coffee, it is humid and ends up people wanting to have naps in the hotel a little bit longer, and you normally come out flat, and I've certainly found that back in 2018-19. Don't think won a game up in Cairns.
Damon, are they theories or are they just excuses?
I don't know what Pete's on about. I don't know how many minutes you played when you was up there, Pete. I'm not sure, but the Illawarra Hawks in 2001 didn't have no trouble going to Cairns getting the dub.
Our rings shine the same.
The Nassus Antetokounmpo's got a ring too.
Here is Daly, who's got a couple of important threes to fall the other night. And that lost to Tassie, but not on that occasion. And they'll keep the ball. There's the hustle plays from Shaley, and he's the reason why he's the #1 player in the league for differential when he's on the floor. Melbourne plus 124 when he's off, they're minus 62. He's such an important player, we know that. You can see there, top 5 in the league for assists. Goldie, a little bit sloppy, looking for Lee. He's got the size advantage on Groves and just goes straight at him.
And that's bonus. Obviously, Marcus Lee can finish everything around the rim, but as a post target, that's not what he normally does. So anything he gets off of a one-on-one post touch, that's gravy.
Here's going to be the matchup, Shea Illy on Taron Armstrong. There's Edwards. Set 27 points last week in their loss to Brisbane. They turned the ball over. That has been an issue all season for the Taipans.
Just need to get settled on the offensive end now, Cairns. Been all over the place.
Golding has his first crack at it. They're off and running. Bradshaw coming off his best game as a Taipan. Wardenberg back from that thumb injury and straight away looking to be aggressive, draws a foul.
Good take by Sam. That's a good matchup. Jack White and Sam Wardenberg. Sam's got a couple of inches on Jack, but the fact that he will shoot that 3 ball makes Jack have to close out a little bit harder on that 3-point line and then allow Sam to get on the rim.
As good as Taron Armstrong's been this season, same with Rob Edwards, Sam Wardenberg has probably been their MVP with how consistent he's played. And again, last year, his second year as a professional, he had his ups and downs, especially shooting the ball. He put in the work in the off-season and he really paid off dividends. He's been unbelievable for Adam Ford this season.
Career highs in rebounds, points and assists, averaging over 15 points and 7 rebounds a game, shooting the ball at just under 40% from the 3-point line. And that was a good free throw shooter. Cairns played last Friday in that 3-point loss to Brisbane. Terrific game. Played really well, though, just a bit unlucky down the stretch. Weren't able to close it out. Golding. Another look at it.
Good job by Taron Armstrong. Running CG off the 3-point line. Obviously, he can make that mid-range pull-up, but you definitely don't want him hitting threes early.
Bradshaw picks up another foul. Shaley doesn't like the call.
He was looking at Dean Vickerman for a challenge. Didn't look like he did a heap wrong.
How egregious, Pete, would a call have to be if you're a coach to challenge it in the first 3 minutes of a game?
Oh, we saw one in the first 30 seconds. Adam Ford against Brisbane last weekend. He won it. It was pretty obvious in the end, but I still think the record, if I can recall correctly, Dan Shamir in Tassie when that was their home game for New Zealand, in the first 8 seconds. It was something ridiculous.
Bradshaw gets the second one to fall. Set career high 22 points against Brisbane. 5 rebounds, knocked down 4 triples. Of course, Cairns, their last win back on October 6th, that was, against Melbourne United in Melbourne. That's 80 days ago, Pete.
That's the game that Taron Armstrong got hurt in, and then he missed time after that. And then all the injury problems happened for the Cairns Taipans. So they welcome back Sam Wardenberg, which is big. This is their starting lineup that they've rarely had in NBL25. This is what looked good. That round 3 for Cairns was a doubleheader. They played Tassie and Melbourne. In that first leg where they beat Tassie, Tanner Groves got hurt, and then the snowball effect continued after that.
So they're just correcting a foul. They called it on went to Marcus Lee when it was in fact a foul on Jack White. That was the foul on Wardenberg. Ford has no problems with that. And we'll get back into the game. Melbourne United, this is the first of 7 away games in a row as Ellie has been aggressive in recent weeks, trying to score more. He'll go to the strike.
Well, we've seen teams, not just the Cairns Taipans in that particular possession, but a lot of teams across the league, just defensive transition. I mean, they take the ball out on the baseline. It's a dead ball situation, and Shea Illy can get 94 feet on the rim and draw a foul. Teams just got to do a better job just containing a man, slowing it down the backcourt, and then just containing the man. Too easy.
Illy's up his scoring the last 6 games, over 14 a game. Looking to be more aggressive. Does the defensive transition, David, have anything to do with the teams trying to pick up their defense like higher up the floor and it's exposing them a little bit? What are you making any sort of theories into why it's been so easy for teams to score offensively in recent weeks?
I think it's poor attention to detail as well as some technique. As Pedro Bradshaw lets one go from the corner. And I've liked Pedro's game, but to your point though, Joey, like teams don't seem to value it as much. Teams want to score in the first 6 seconds if they can, and it should be a high priority.
Bradshaw considering his good form. That's a nice little layoff from Golding to Lee, who throws it down. He's got 4 early points.
Cairns are doing a good job of running Chris Golding off the 3-point line, but he's just turning the corner. He understands that in his first 3 minutes. So every Melbourne United player needs to keep their hands ready.
Groves can knock this down. He's got that in the repertoire.
Okay, Marcus Lee, you got decisions. You're down there trying to block shots, clog it up. That was one-on-one was already covered. Shea had him. And Tanner Groves is a willing 3-point shooter.
Speaking of willing 3-point shooters, there's his first, and the streak continues.
That streak can honestly go on until he retires.
What was your streak, man?
Edwards easily flexes his muscles, ties it up at 11 apiece.
Wasn't known for my 3-point shoot. Unless it was clutch time.
Now Daly again, easily right from Armstrong, good athleticism. He's off and running, puts the head down. Ellie again, diving for everything. Wardenberg thought about the step back. Defense from Golding. Now they'll get into their set. Shot clock down to 6. Wardenberg patient. This has been the big improvement in Armstrong's game. It was a good look.
I thought he missed Tanner Groves. Then Tanner's already hit 1 3. Marcus Lee gets tangled up at half court. Marcus Lee isn't playing in a drop defense because it wasn't a ball screen, but he's just sagging a lot. That's just his default. And Tanner Groves is happy to stay on the three-point line. I think that's where the ball should have went.
Replay center, we like to review that play for potential upgrade.
The referee's talking about as fast break opportunity. They're going to have a look as a potential upgrade, and just based on the little replay we saw, so have another look here. Clearly a fast break opportunity.
Regular foul for mine.
Problem is, anytime you look like you're intentionally trying to foul, it's going to make it looked at like it is now.
I guess by the letter of the law, Chris took a foul, so we can't take fouls in Australia. We just can't just stop it wasn't even a fast break.
Just a bit of experience from a wily veteran now, Chris Goulding, surely. So you can see there, he just intentionally held up Wardenberg, who did play it up, let's be fair, which probably caught the referee's attention.
One thing that is never going to go out of fashion, players know how to accentuate a call.
Well, he knew what he was doing too, didn't he? So he understands he was trying to slow down and stop that transition opportunity.
Yep. Well, it wasn't like it was a 4v1 up ahead. It was 3v3. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Still reviewing it.
Upgrade, unsportsmanlike foul.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
That was for no legitimate play on the ball.
I know what you're saying, Damon, and I can understand that too. But again, the no legitimate play on the ball, like they say, and I go back to, there was one time, Dave Barlow, the assistant coach from Melbourne, one time, it's very similar, I remember, that and he put his hand up straight away and said, yep, that's just my foul, and I'm trying to make a play on the ball. But it kind of looks like, okay, you're intentionally fouling, which is what they're trying to get away from when that you have that transition opportunity on the offense. So I'm not surprised to see that one upgraded. Some people like it, some people won't.
Yeah. That's FIBA rules, though. That's FIBA basketball, so we get used to watching NBA guys do that all the time. And so Chris isn't going to play big minutes tonight anyway, so he's probably thinking, I'm not going to get in foul trouble.
As now Melbourne United go to their bench. Kyle Bowen, Rob Lowe and Flynn Cameron check into the ball game. And Goulding will stay out there for a few more minutes. He's guarding Bradshaw. Now some youngsters going at it, Armstrong and Cameron. They swing the ball. It's going to be another foul. It's already 4 fouls on Melbourne United.
Sam Warrenberg got one of the better shot fakes in the league, and when he's standing up there on the three-point line, he's got the team's full attention. You got to close out under control.
Cairns have already hit 2 threes in the first quarter. Hit 17 threes against Brisbane and didn't win.
As I said, scoring hasn't been an issue. They've scored 90 plus their last 4 games. They're just conceding too many. They are not far away. Here's Groves. Trying a little fake on Rob Lowe. Tell you what, Melbourne United, they have won their last 13 Thursday night games. So if there's anything in that, they enjoy this time of the year as Goulding knocks down his second triple. That was too easy.
That is a kind of a misdirection play, one of Melbourne United's pat plays for Chris. It completely caught Sam Wardenberg off guard as Pedro Bradshaw misses one, but you got to pay attention to the scout.
He knows he's only got a little bit more time on the floor, most likely. But he wants to make the most of it. Here's Bowen. They want to get it back to Goulding. This time it frees up the open man. Daly gave up the look. And then a pretty good hustle play from Taipans on defense.
Now, Kyle Bowen should not be hesitating on threes. He's shooting 53% from downtown. You got to let those fly.
Here's Groves in the post. They've delved it over. He's more than capable of guarding the bigs. Armstrong. Missed his first couple of three-point attempts. And now Cameron wants to back into Edwards, kicks it out. And this is good ball movement. Now he's wide open, Damon. And that was halfway down.
He was in 2 minds. Should I pass this to Chris or should I shoot it? Back yourself.
Bradshaw, a couple of efforts. Both teams struggling from the field at the moment. Melbourne just over 40%. Cairns down at 33%. It was low. And this was an issue for them the other night, Pete, wasn't it, Melbourne? Their ability to finish around the basket.
Yeah, they missed a lot underneath Mitsubishi Motors logo right there. Finish your work.
Another miss from Cairns. They're struggling at the moment. Started pretty well in recent weeks. Hasn't been the issue for them. Here's Golding again. He's feeling it now. Sure, you scrap those minutes restrictions. He's knocked down 3, and just like he did last week, he's got 9 early.
Have a look at the Amy replay. You've got to stay locked into Chris Golding at all time. Look at him, a little fake. There's a flare screen coming from Kyle Bowen. He knows what the play is, so Pedro Bradshaw is probably hearing and seeing him point all these different ways. You've just got to try and be as proactive as possible, and if you can dictate where you to send him, otherwise if he gets half a second of space less and he lets that thing fly, if that thing's in the air, there's a good chance it's going in.
In teams, you can't simulate this with your training sessions. No team has a Chris Golding. Probably the closest thing would be like maybe a Tyler Harvey, but they just got, like you said, they just got to pay attention with way more urgency and detail to the scout.
He had the 14 points in the first half against Tassie, and then only 4 points in that second half. He didn't come on till late in the fourth quarter. How do you try and use the minutes? If it is Dean Vickerman's got his hands tied and it's, you know, the high performance staff are, are dictating.
Well, it's tough, right? Because right now he just hit another 3. He just basically hit his last 2 shots, and you've got to sit him right now. You'd probably be trying to at least let him get another shot or 2 up. Because if he's hot, you just keep going. Now he's going to sit down and get a chance to cool off. I understand, Damien.
I'm sorry, Pete. I'm sorry. Keep going, man. But Pete, how hot does a guy have to be? How hot? You medical staff, you sports science nerds over there who probably ain't never played, do you know what it feels like to be on a heater? You might as well be sitting on Cairns Taipans bench 40s like, thank God for that.
I'll tell you what, there'll be a team at the other end of the floor that'll be breathing a sigh of relief as, again, there are players sprawled out on the floor. But let's get back down to courtside, Ariana.
Chris Golding is just so fun to watch in person because as a defender, you can do every single thing right, and just that split second he needs to get his shot up, and it's water, it's going to go in. But get this, he is scoring his best performance, over 18 points so far this season. This is the best that he's done in a season since 2013. He's absolutely aging like fine wine, guys. Somebody from the Taipans is going to have to step up and take pride in knocking him down tonight.
Well, when his own team is playing defense on him too, Ariana, that kind of helps the Taipans causes too. I'm going to leave it alone, Pete. I'm not bringing it up again.
And he's doing all this playing the least amount of minutes he's played in the season since 2012.
Exactly right.
When he was at the Gold Coast.
So Rob Edwards just got taken off. He was going to have free throws with a blood rule, and they brought in Kyle Adnam. You can see the Melbourne bench's initial response because Kyle Adnam is normally absolute money from the free throw line. He went 1 for 2 there.
Averaging less than 27 minutes a game. Chris Golding just doing it at such a high rate this year. Is now Clark. Oh, comes in. Oh, that's a nice swap from Higgins-Titcher. He started the previous couple of games when Wardenberg was out.
I love that kid. He's blocking a shot a game.
I'm buying all the Higgins-Titcher stuff.
Just a great athlete, good nose for the ball. 40's always just uncovering, just discovering these type of dudes. This is kind of fly under the radar.
Calls of the factory in Cairns. Guys who want a second chance or young talent that he knows he can get the best out of. He's found another one here with Higgins-Titcher.
Park has his 3rd crack at it. We don't get any of them before. Rob Lowe, we know he's been stroking the ball well. And again, Illy. It's another offensive board. It was a real strength against Tasmania. Now rebounded them by 17. Normally that just automatically leads to a win for United. Not that night, but Krebs, that's a layup.
6 offensive rebounds right now to Melbourne United. Adam Ford will not be happy with that at quarter time. You just can't play great defense for 20-odd seconds, then give up an offensive rebound and have to lock in again.
As Armstrong goes zip from 3 to start. Here's Adnam playing against one of his former clubs, one of his 5 former clubs, Kyle Adnam.
I wonder what's the record. Who's the guy that's played in the most clubs?
You're getting close.
I think look that up. Matt Shanahan.
Matt Shanahan was at about 8. I think we did look that up a while ago.
Championship teammate.
Krebs again with a layup.
That's the transition I'm talking about, Joey. That's just too easy. You get a shot up and you miss it, there's no excuse for a team to be able to come down and get an actual layup.
All of a sudden, they're up by 10. I think Ben Knight might have been one too. Was it Pete Hawley? Was it Ben Knight?
Recently, Jeremy Kendall was scoring for a while.
Here's Antonio, the only tight man who have played every game this year. That's a good find. Galloway can't finish.
Finally, we have a whistle. That was a real pickup game for a few minutes there, back and forth, letting it fly. Both teams. Just 13 points so far for Cairns. They knocked down a 3-ball to start. 3 balls early. Tanner Groves hit one. Bradshaw hit one.
Shooting just at 23% from the field in this first quarter, Cairns.
And this is the difference with, you look at the teams at the top of the ladder. Melbourne will go second, but Illawarra, for example, when they have tough patches offensively, you're not scoring either. And that's what Cairns haven't done right now, and they haven't done throughout their entire losing streak.
Daly for White. He's really struggling with his 3-ball in recent weeks, but Cairns will get possession back.
But if you're Dean Vickerman, you're happy because you're getting every kind of shot you want. Every single action is working. And Cairns Taipans just dodged the bullet. The Jack White missed it easy, catch and shoot.
He's only knocked down 6 of his last 22, Jack White. His last 4 games is...
It's a 2 for 1. Adam Ford loves a 2 for 1, but sometimes the problem is with that is the 2 might not be a good shot.
Little Steph Curry for a second there as Dellavedova draws the foul.
A bad 2 for 1, Pete, is like a turnover. Not saying that Kyle can't make it with 39 seconds to go on the clock.
Well, we so often see it in this level and in the NBA as well, when teams love to get 2 for 1 opportunities and try and use the shot clock to their advantage. That first shot, if you're going at pace and there's nothing there, can often be a poor shot.
Different if CG is the one pulling up like that. So now, do you go 2 for 1 again?
Well, in the end, you give Melbourne a 2 for 1. They're going to get another chance to finish this quarter as well because of that foul.
So this will most likely be Cairns' second lowest first quarter for the season. Their lowest was 12 points against Melbourne in round 6 when they got beaten by 43 points. They kept them to 12. So hopefully not a similar story. Can they finish with some momentum? Adnam. Wardenberg. In the end, tough 2-point shot. And they have really struggled after about the first 3 minutes of this quarter.
This is good Melbourne United D. They plan to drop defense with Rob Lowe on the ball screen, but Delhi is already kind of pre-rotating already to take that 3-ball away. They got to reverse the ball, and Jack White closes out on it. That is good execution.
Just redoing the shot, the game clock here. There'll be 8 seconds left.
Can you go back to that 2 for 1 where Cairns had a missed shot from deep and air ball. Melbourne United had 2 free throws. If they knock a shot down here as well, the worst possible result.
So they're just put an extra 0.3 seconds on. Dellavedova's try and get the ball. There's Golding sitting with 9 points, 3 of 4 from long range in this first quarter. So you get some more action in the second.
Don't suck me in, Joey.
Here's Daly. Low. Gets some separation. This will be a dagger, and he couldn't make them pay. But still, a pretty impressive defensive performance from Melbourne United. They're looking to snap a 4-game losing streak in a quarter time. They lead by 12.
Make sure you get your phones out, point your camera towards the big screen, all thanks to Mick and his amazing team at NQ Forklifts. You have the opportunity to win $350. All you got to do is enter your name, section, and seat number to win. It's as simple as that, and we'll find out who the winner is at three-quarter time. Mick is looking forward to handing over $350. Thanks, Mick and his team, NQ Forklifts, your local forklift dealer, service agent, and forklift hire provider. But guess what, Taipans fans? NQ Forklifts are also going to be giving away $1,000 to one of our lucky fans on New Year's Eve.
Well, the Cairns Taipans, they may have won 6 of their last 8 v Melbourne United, but they've got their work cut out for them tonight, trailing by 12 at quarter time. Fair to say, neither side shooting the lights out. Melbourne just at 36% from the field, but the Cairns Taipans shooting at 20% from the field, going 3 of 15. Damon Lowry, Pete Hooley, tough start.
Yeah, tough start for Cairns for sure. Melbourne United will be thrilled. They got the extra efforts themselves, 6 offensive rebounds to 1. And in the end, to help those second chance points, then tick the scoreboard over. And defensively, that's probably the best they've looked in a long time.
Well, Ariana, you were listening in to Coach Ford at that quarter time huddle.
That's right. On defense, he said their energy just keeps getting lower and lower and lower. He needs them to pick that up. They're starting to go under ball screens, and too many offensive rebounds are going Melbourne's way. He needs to see that improve. And offensively, he wants to see more ball movement, and drew up that play for Rob Edwards that he just scored on.
Damon, that play wouldn't have pleased Coach Ford.
Not at all.
Ariana just said.
Not at all. And not to mention, it was the 7th offensive rebound to start the quarter. So Cairns got to do the little things. Obviously, they need some scoreboard pressure, but if United can shoot it, miss it, and get it back.
This is one of the men that can get them going, Rob Edwards. There's 4 points in that opening term. Taron Armstrong scoreless. Wardenberg had the 3 points. They're the ones that have to get going. As Ian Clark, he can certainly get going in this second quarter.
It's not offensive rebounds. They're just turning the corner off ball screens and handoffs and getting 2 feet in the paint, and there's very little resistance. Adam Ford was saying that Ariana was telling us about the energy. You've got to want to stop players from getting that deep.
Here's Groves. Back the 3-point chance. That's a good look for Antonio. That's his bread and butter.
Good extra pass by Tanner Groves, and we all know what Jonah's going to do when he gets his feet set. Melbourne United, they don't want to get loaded to a false sense of security. That's just a wide open. That's not good defense. That's just a missed shot. But United getting whatever they want in the offensive end. They got to be careful. They don't kind of play themselves down to Kansas' current energy levels.
That's another good feed from Tanner Groves to Wardenberg, who hopefully is okay. We know he's had his injury troubles throughout his career, particularly this season, just little niggles. And
it's just been the timing of it. That's what makes me real flat for him, because we know the talent that he is. Just a little high-low, the miscommunication from Melbourne. Jeez, there was not a whole lot.
A lot of leather on that.
Hopefully he can get up and down the floor, but he missed 2. He missed back-to-back summer leagues because of different injuries that he was dealing with. And even when he started to play well this year, it was something else with the hand injury. It's the timing of it more so than actually sitting out, which is really tough for him.
He's 5 of 6 from the stripe. Cairns have knocked down 7 of their 20 points from the free throw line. Here's Clark, who's come out looking to be aggressive, and that's too easy.
Say it again, Joey.
That's too easy.
It's too damn easy. No resistance.
There's Armstrong probing Antonio. Just some size from the crowd. Big crowd. As Ariana told us, Clark has just helped himself to 6 easy points in the first 2.5 minutes of the quarter.
They're living in the heart of the paint, right below the Tangerine logo, whenever they want.
This will just be an unnecessary turnover from the Taipans.
And the fact that they can get there and there still be enough space with Chris Golding not on the floor. For Cairns, you've got to help. Yes, one-on-one, you've got to have pride in the defensive end to stop who's in front of you, but understanding that you'll get beat at times. And when you get beat, who's going to be there to have your back? Who's taking 2 steps off their man to show a crowd, to show that there's just more than one player guarding the ball?
Clark lost his footing.
Cairns is not playing with the desperation that a team who's lost 13 straight should be playing with. Right now, Melbourne United are probably a quarter away from just this turning into an absolute tropical holiday.
Is it human nature, Damon, to have your energy sapped a little bit when they've tried so hard? Like the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, they've tried and they haven't got the results. At some point, you just get a little bit...
Yeah, I mean, we've all had losing streaks before, but like, you're a professional. Like, we don't care. Like, you guys want to trade jobs with me? I bet none of you do. You just got to get up. This is your job. I mean, yes, and losing is a habit. You build a lot of habits when you lose that many games, and it's hard. I get it. I've been there before. I was on the Townsville Croc team, and we lost at least 15 straight. So, and every week you just look at each other and go, oh, here we go again. So I get that, but somebody got to light a spark.
Coach Ford spoke about trust, Pete, didn't he, when he spoke to him in the pre-game? It was a great chat, great interview with Coach Ford, but they've just got to trust each other.
And that comes with on the defensive end right now too. He was talking more about the 4th quarter with their ball movement, offensive decisions, but matters on the defensive end too.
Groves just had to chuck that up with a shot clock expiring. And they're having some real troubles at the offensive end as well as the defensive end.
And that's better though from Jonah Antonio to be able to show that crowd and help on the drive, understanding you can close out to Kyle Bowen if they make the extra pass.
Antonio will sit. Higgins, Titcher and Galloway will check back in. Wardenberg as well.
Lead up on the glass, 19 rebounds for Melbourne United. It's just to 8 on Cairns.
Here's Clark. Wow. Gives it up. Wide open. Bowen hasn't been able to make the pay. He's had a couple of really good looks. And now Armstrong trying to throw the lob, but Marcus Lee was onto it. Didn't give away the foul. They're even thinking it might be their ball.
Sorry, Joey. There's not a team in the league that doesn't run this particular ball screen play. And the fact that Melbourne United can run it and make 2 passes and get a wide open, uncontested 3-ball in the corner. I'm amazed. If only they had a sniper that could really shoot threes really well, they could sub in right now.
Cameron, Delvedova. Now Clark. He's been able to get into the paint with regularity, but just stepped out of bounds.
That looked better. They're switching 1 through 4. They put Galloway into the 4 and switching everything. They're going to have a little bit of a show and recover from Tanner Groves when he's in the ball screen action. That looked a lot better. There was more communication. Everybody was working together.
You don't reckon they can switch 1 to 5, Pete?
I think they can. I think they can, especially with Marcus Lee on the floor. Marcus Lee very rarely rolls down and posts up and demands a target. And if he does that, and say it's Taron Armstrong who's been switched onto him, you should have enough time, if the communication and trust is there, to switch that out on the weak side.
Rob Edwards has to sub out. We heard the referee tell him he had some blood on his jersey, so he wiped it from the eye. And he might have to just change his singlet or clean up his head.
Going out of the eyebrow. Get that one fixed up first.
Groves, good feed for Higgins Titcher. Well, Galloway was, I should say. Apologies.
Good curl by Kyron Galloway. Not just popping and selling for the 3-ball. Curled all the way to the basket. And once he gets around the rim, you realize what kind of athlete he is. Speaking of around the rim.
Nice little alley-oop from Delvedova to Lee. Seen that plenty of times. Marcus Lee starting tonight. Delvedova second in the competition for assists, only behind Kendrick Davis. Throwing up another one there. Back to 13 points. Game high. Armstrong getting to work. Just not able to finish. And they're off and running here, Melbourne. That's White, too easy. And that's going to be a timeout. Tangerine timeout. Coach Ford doesn't like what he's seeing. 15 points.
Here's the Amy replay. This is the gravitational pull that Chris Goulding has. Look where Higgins-Titcher has to be. There's no bump on the cutter, and what happens? You get a lob dunk to Marcus Lee, because if Higgins-Titcher comes across, Jack White cleared out, well, it's a layup for Chris Goulding standing there on the three-point line.
Yep. You miss a layup on one end and then give up a layup on the other end, tells me you just don't want to play.
Well, we just saw Matthew Dellavedova throw his 4th assist to Marcus Lee, and pre-game he caught up with Ariana Prather.
All right, Deli, thank you so much for joining me. I don't know if I can say Deli, we just met, but I'm going to call you the nickname anyway. First things first, how do you get the team back on track? You're one of the vets. How do you just lead the team to get back to where you guys started and climb that ladder again?
Yeah, I think it starts on the defensive end, try to set the tone there, and then that can fuel our offense. But we've been scoring enough points. It's about getting stops on the defensive end.
Speaking about defense, the Taipans are huge from that three-point line. They get up a lot of shots. They make a lot of shots from deep. How do you protect that line tonight?
Yeah, I mean, they're extremely explosive. A lot of guys can shoot the ball, so we're going to have to be on point in our coverages, communicating, and closing out hard.
Coaches spoke a lot this week about you guys needing to finish plays on the offensive end and the defensive end. How do you keep up that energy and just make sure you play for the whole 20 seconds?
Yeah, I think it's just rewarding ourselves. We've had some really good defensive possessions, and then it's either finished in a foul or missed box out. So we definitely want to be able to finish plays, rebound, and be able to push the ball.
Well, it's probably the start of that interview that has summed up this game, hasn't it? Focus on the defensive end, and the players will come at the other end.
Oh, I thought it was calling him Deli. Damon has to call him Matthew, so Ariana's already thriving. We know she's doing a wonderful job.
I call him Mr. Dellavedova.
They certainly are getting it done at the defensive end. That's restricted it to, as you can see, 22 points. As both Daly and Goulding just looked at each other momentarily, and then in the end, White gives it back to Dellavedova, and that's, dare I say it, too easy again, and that's 17 points.
Pedro Bradshaw did a good job chasing Chris Goulding off that screen, took away the 3-ball, but then just lacked their effort on the offensive glass. Just led to an easy bucket.
Oh boy.
Hello. Poor turnover lead to a Goulding attempt.
It's an 8th offensive rebound.
22 rebounds to 9. They are leading the count. As Goulding's making sure if he's only got a certain amount of minutes, he's going to get his shots up. 3 of 6 now from long range.
Call it off a bit, Damon.
As Groves knocks down a second one.
Yeah, he had his rhythm broken.
Let's get back courtside. Ariana.
Rob Edwards is about to check back into the game, so he has a cut over his left eye. It's not too gruesome, but it's just very pesky. It won't go away. It's bleeding. So he took some pre-wrap and wrapped it all the way around his own head and then put his headband over top of it. So hopefully that stops the blood from coming out. But guys, Rob Edwards is one of the top 10 leading scorers in this league. Once he checks into this game, I need him to not be so nonchalant and really start going out there and trying to get buckets. At this point in time, do anything. Try to get to the rim, shoot from the three-point line, just try to get something going so you can pick up the energy of the whole team.
And that's a good point. I mean, he's kind of half channeling the Andrew Gaze mummy look from back in the day when Drury was bleeding. But he's averaging 20 points a game. But what I don't want to see Rob do is just go iso ball.
We know the NBL Summer Shootout is very, very close, so make sure you choose the club that will score the highest points in their Summer Shootout game. Just correctly predict their score, and you have the chance to win $100,000. Just enter via the QR code or at nbl.com.au/shootout. Melbourne United are first up in the shootout. January 4 against Adelaide in Adelaide.
Rematch.
Surely Goulding comes off the minutes limit rotation there, and they just let him just jack it up, try and run a score.
Well, that's the game that everybody's been waiting for as well, because we know what happened last time Melbourne played Adelaide. But that's going to kick things off for the summer shootout. It's going to be fun. Well, Adelaide, they leak a lot of points as well, and they could be playing for their season on that game as well if they don't take care of business on Saturday and before then.
There is Edwards with the headband. Easy to spot. He's got a number change. So that jersey did have some blood on it. He's wearing the 44. And we know about number 43. He certainly has cooled off after that hot start.
There's the one.
Damon keeps getting frustrated.
Yeah. I mean, if you add on 4, you're thinking we can't probably play any worse. We're only down 14. So Melbourne United haven't taken advantage. It's still relatively a game.
Just need to get some points. Bradshaw been striking the 3-ball nicely. Rims out, 4 of 13 now for the Taipans. As I said, Pete, after knocking down 17 threes last week. Golding with the behind-the-back pass to Lowen. Another one can't make them pay. Can it be Krebs this time?
Never fails. Offensive rebound leads to a wide-open Tanner Krebs 3-ball.
9 offensive rebounds.
You're right, certainly not like they're shooting the lights out. Melbourne United, just 4 of 20 from that 3-point line.
And Rob Edwards can make that shot as well, but these have been the compounding errors in this first half so far. You give up an eyeboard, they knock down a 3, and then you go and take a no-pass offense, contested 3-ball.
Krebs wasn't expecting it. And in the end, shoots an air ball. Not a great offensive possession, and now Wardenberg swatted away by Jack White.
Transition D, I thought he was going to give up a layup there, but Jack White was having none of it. But you're right, Pete. Rob Edwards, he's a scorer, but you're down 17. If you take that shot, Brendan Joyce once said, if you take a shot like that, you absolutely have to make it, or it's a bad shot. And I totally agree with that. You got to understand the situation, time, and score.
Here's Bradshaw, and that's going to be another sloppy turnover. That's their 6th of the first half. They are worse in the competition at over 13 a game.
See 40, kind of just put his hands on his knees thinking, what you said, Damon, like this is not the Cairns Taipans we've seen throughout this entire losing streak. They have been competitive. There's been patches, multiple parts of each game where they look very good. It hasn't been there in this one.
Jack White will go to the free throw line.
And I don't know how they carry themselves after games in the locker room. I don't know what they get up to, but if you're going to come out here and dish this up in the first half, I don't want to hear all the tough talk in the locker room. Like the time to be mad is literally right now while the game is going on. And somebody got to light a spark. I'm not saying you get rough and rugged and dirty, Joey, but I'm saying somebody's got to do something to spark this crowd and to spark the team.
Jack White knocks down 1 of 2. 15 players in this game have all scored. No one's in double digits as of yet. It's an 18-point margin. And that is another turnover. That's 3 in the last 4 possessions.
If you're Dean Vickerman, you're happy with the defense. You obviously holding Cairns Taipans. You can only play who's in front of you. You're holding the Taipans at 27% shooting. Taron Armstrong is 0 for Thursday. What's the day today? Lose track of the holidays. But Taron Armstrong is not having one of his better games. So if you're Dean, you feel kind of good about yourself.
I think Pedro Bradshaw's just going around to his team right now, just trying to get a little bit of energy, get a little bit of a pick-me-up because they need it. This has been a really flat first half.
They're on track for their lowest first half score of the season. Cairns was 30 in that demolition job against Melbourne United in round 6 when they won by 43 points. We hope history doesn't repeat as Golding helps himself to an easy layup and he's the first player in double digits.
So that time, Cairns obviously switched 1 to 5. Tanner Groves ends up on Chris Golding. Chris ain't gonna pass that, nor should he. The rest of the Taipans gotta be ready to help.
Galloway. 4 of 15 from Cairns from long range. They just cannot get anything going on offense. Golding wants to go to work. In the end, plays facilitator, which gives Krebs the chance. Back to Golding, he has to let it fly. He's 3 of 8.
And that was 23 seconds of good defense. So 40 sees at one time, he thinks, how come I can't see this on multiple possessions?
Just need a score down this end. That's going to help Wardenberg, who's probably looked most likely for Cairns in this first half. He has 7 to go with these 3 rebounds.
2 for 1, Pete.
They will get the 2 for 1. As Cameron will go to the free throw line, and they'll most likely get last possession of the half.
A 2-for-1 don't always have to be a three-pointer. Put your head down, get on the rim, especially Flynn Cameron on his left hand. Seeing the way Cairns are defending one-on-one, he would have full of confidence thinking he can get a layup.
The word trust that Adam Ford threw out there, and I know when he was talking to us, Damon, he was talking about the fourth quarter and offensive decisions, but there's clearly a lack of trust defensively. We'll talk about it at half-time where they switched that 1 through 5 and Tanner Grove is guarding Chris Golding. He's got to have the trust in the 4 guys behind him that if he's going to do his job and run the best shooter in the league off the three-point line, that someone's going to be there to show a crowd and step up.
Flynn Cameron, who had one of his best games against Cairns early in the season with the 18 points, 10 rebounds, will sit the final 32 seconds. Armstrong will run the point. Groves already knocked down a couple. Wants to get to the basket, puts the head down. And they get back-to-back buckets.
Jack White got to be better in that situation. Jack's too much of an athlete. It's not like Tanner Groves has blazing speed.
United with the final possession. It'll be set up for Golding. They couldn't get it to go. Krebs didn't know how much time was left. Jack White was frustrated. But in the end, Coach Dean Vickerman will be pretty pleased with what he's seen, particularly at the defensive end from Melbourne United. They lead by 17 points, and they restrict the Cairns Taipans to their lowest first half score of the season.
Yeah, they had a lot more energy than Cairns. 10 offensive rebounds. They're beating him up on the glass. Extra opportunities and just being able to turn the corner and score at will. Adam Ford will not be happy at all at halftime because this has just been, I want to say uncharacteristic because it has. They've fought hard throughout this losing streak, but in that first half, Damon, you questioned it as well. Like, how badly do you want to find this next win?
100%. There's nothing for a coach to say. There's nothing. There's a stat sheet, the coaches. This is about looking each other in the eye, saying, what are we about? Is this how you're going to go out? So it's gut check time right now.
And that's exactly what Coach Adam Ford and his assistants are just thinking now. What can they do at halftime to try and find that spark you've been speaking about Damon Lowry, as we're going to get down to courtside. Ariana.
Chris, thanks for joining me. You're the only player in double figures in that first half. Seem to just be having your way. What are you happy with so far?
I'm happy with our defensive intent for the most part. Yeah, there's probably a few ones there, some bad shots. My bad, that, you know, we could have released pressure, but we scrambled a little bit defensively. We're boxing out. We're taking care of this end. So we need to be careful. We need to keep executing and stay solid on D.
Well, we know the Taipans are going to keep fighting. Still a long game to go. What needs to carry over defensively, like you mentioned, to finish it off?
Yeah, we've been doing a fairly good job of taking Armstrong out of his pocket game where he gets people on his back and kind of has his way. So we're focusing on that, but we need to be careful on the backside when he gets rid of it. We need to be really good with our scrambles. We were okay, but we can be better.
Well, good luck in a second.
Thanks.
It might not be the prettiest first half, but this is just about getting the win for either team. Can Cairns Taipans find something to get their season going at half-time? Because Melbourne are doing it comfortably by 17 points.
Easily good ball off the leg there. Come on, Keep the beats going, Ronnie. There's Rod Anderson in the middle as well, too. Going over up. Back here. For the kick out. That's cool. Free ball.
We always Superman for our 80 types of parents. At IFY's Foster Care, we need your help to raise the next superhero. So if you've ever thought about fostering,
Oh, man, let the show go. I like that.
thank you.
Who's winning down this end? We got a winner in the minute? No?
Kind of wild, you know, like even in the last couple of years of high school, it was like, is there an opportunity to go to college or anything like that? At that point in time, coming out of high school, it was like, am I gonna be in the NBL and NBA or Europe or anything like that? Is that even an opportunity or a chance that I have there? But you know, being in it now, it's so awesome, and it really is like living the dream, being a professional basketball player.
Whoa! Rumbles down the lane!
Forty's amazing, you know, since day one he's instilled so much confidence in myself, and he does that with every player, you know. He has this high standard of everyone, you know, you got to bring energy and effort to every single practice, every single game, but yeah, he'll be your biggest cheerleader, as he says, you know. He sees so much out of everyone, and it's up to you to like get up to that level and get to those expectations. But yeah, he's amazing.
Well, hopefully the Cairns Taipans can bring those high standards and energy to the second half, boys, because at half-time it's been a pretty ugly display. They trail by 17 points, and we haven't seen the energy we're used to from this Taipans team.
If I'm Adam Port at halftime, it's probably real. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Because that's what it felt like. It looked like a team there that understands their bottom of the ladder and what they're playing for. They're not playing for postseason basketball, but there is still so much to play for individually. And you look at the whole season as a whole, what they can do. They've got guys in Next Gen Award, conversations most improved. That just wasn't good enough, and I think he'll make sure they know that.
Well, in a game that was hard to find highlights in that first half, we've gone to Chris Golding as usual because we know he's still on some minutes rotation with what he's going to play, but he was able to knock down a few triples early in the game, Damon, and it just set the tone. He admitted to himself even at half-time with Ariana, probably jacked up a few shots that he would like to have back, but this is what he does.
I don't know if a three-point pull-up by Chris is ever a bad shot. He can make just about anything he shoots, and this is what the team has been missing when he was out. He opens up the floor for everybody. Everybody gets easier looks because of the attention you have to pay on him as we look at his Blackmore sharp chart. All those X's could be easily, what color are them circles? Green, yellow, whatever color they are. They could easily be circles. And Chris, he's fine. He knows who he is as a player. I would just be having a conversation with them dudes over there in the polo shirts about, can I please just play more, man? Like, while you guys over there counting my minutes, count my made shots. How about that?
I think it works also, you understand the game and the flow of the game. If they can get out by 20 by halftime, or like they're nearly there, he might not even have to play the fourth quarter. So just understanding when he was hot to probably keep him rolling.
There's something caught your eye in the first half you want to touch on?
Yeah, you talk about trust at Adam Ford. We keep harping on the word trust. This is what we talk about with that switch, right, with Tanner Groves ends up on Chris Golding. So they keep switching everything. Right now, Tanner Groves has to have the trust. He's got to run Chris Golding off the three-point line. Everybody else has to take a few more steps off, clog the paint. He doesn't get out of first gear and blows past their big man untouched and lays it up. Where is the trust behind that everybody else has got his back? He did his job. He stopped the best shooter in the league shooting the three, and no one was there to help him.
Coach Ford, what would we be doing? Damon, halftime, is it chair throwing? Is it the mirror in front of the players, or is it just a quiet word?
To quote the pharmaceutical entrepreneur Scarface, all you got in this world is your minerals and your word. I'm looking at these dudes, Joey, I'm saying, are you a basketball player right now? What are you? Just because you're wearing a uniform don't make you a player. I need your heart and your minerals.
Well, let's find out if they're going to bring any of the minerals or heart in the second half. We need something to see if they can get back in this contest, because at the moment they trail by 17, but still don't go anywhere. Who knows what could happen after this? Round 14 of this Hungry Jacks NBL. The festive season continues tomorrow night, and what a blockbuster it is. Two of the hottest teams in the competition and two teams that are running up some serious scores on offense. You're leaning which way? I'm not asking you, Damon. Which way are you leaning, Pete?
Yeah, the Hawks look really tough to beat right now, so it's hard to pick past them.
Yeah, Brisbane have won 5 of their last 6, and someone who'll be keeping a close eye on that game is Ariana Prather.
Well, if the Taipans want to make their way back into this ball game, there's two areas that they need to improve on. First, on the rebounding end, 31-14 Melbourne United. You're not beating a top team by not crashing the glass. And then number 2, points in the paint, 28. And a lot of those are coming from guards with an easy blow-by, getting to the rim and finishing too easy. They're going to need to harden up the Taipans and make it more difficult if they want to win this ball game. You like how I threw that in there, Damon?
Yeah, Ariana, say it again for the people in the back. You got to harden up.
You appreciated that, Damon? They do. They certainly need to harden up. They need to show something.
First 2 minutes. First 2 minutes right here. First possession. What tone do they set? You'd be happy it's on the defensive end too, so they can kind of show if they've made a switch.
Going back to their starting lineups, both teams. Marcus Lee, as we said, got the starting gig tonight, and they do force a turnover, and they get out and running. And then Armstrong tried to throw the lob to Groves. And that might be number 4 on Shea Illy. We'll just keep an eye on.
Great start. They defended every one of those actions, that ball screen. They switched everything. Taron Armstrong got himself in the passing lane, got a steal. And like I said earlier, once Adam Ford has seen it, you're capable of doing it. The fact that you don't do it on multiple possessions is what really confuses a coach. So we'll see if they can build off of this.
And it is the 4th personal on Shea Illy. He's been in terrific form despite the losing streak. He's been playing great basketball, so he'll sit.
4.5 minutes.
There he is. So he'll be looking on for the majority of this second half.
Cam Toby's record lives to fight another day.
What was it again, the record? How many minutes?
3 minutes and 24 seconds.
That's not going to get topped. That could.
You've got to have an aim to go out there and foul out quick.
Yeah, that's right. White.
It's actually impressive.
Shooting blows from long range continue. Jack White. Chance here. Just slowly heading into the margin. Groves, who's already got 10 points and knocked down a couple, gets the friendly roll.
Perfect start.
And they're back within 12. And straight away, Dean Vickerman wants a tangerine timeout. And all of a sudden, Damon, just a little bit of energy.
That's all you need. Energy can change a whole lot of things for you. So the Melbourne United only shooting 17% from 3, 4 of 24. So they haven't put the foot down. They can't hit 3 balls at the moment. The Taipans, good offense. Marcus Lee got caught sagging off that little exchange, and Tanner Groves made him pay the price.
Speaking of Tanner Groves, he's leading the way. Game high, 13 points, and Ariana caught up with him pre-game.
The season hasn't been going like anyone has expected, but talk about how important it is just to keep that confidence high and try to finish out the season strong.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all it is. I mean, regardless of record, like, we're here to do a job. We're here to play basketball. Like, it's an incredible opportunity. So all of us are still tuned in every day at practice. Like, if you came to our practice, you wouldn't even be able to tell like where we are on the ladder. So yeah, we've just been grinding, and hopefully keep gelling together a bit and see where we can get to by the end of the season.
Coach Forty has talked about how great your guys' energy has been in practice. And look, you guys are playing outstanding basketball. I would say you're always in the game.
Yeah.
It just seems like that 4th quarter hits you guys and things kind of start going downhill. How do you win that 4th quarter tonight?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just, closing out those games. I mean, we groove it in practice every day, just defensively, offensively. Got to lock it down on defense. Coming down the stretch, yeah, and I think, offensively, we got to get the ball moving a bit. But, yeah, overall, I mean, I think if we can figure that part out, then we'll be good and start winning some games.
And right on cue, Tanner Groves getting it done at the defensive end. Just 25 years of age. I've got to say, he looks a little bit older.
No, he's got that face warmer on because he's from Spokane, Washington.
He's doing a good job here. He's been in good form. If they can get this man going, that'll help them even more. And Edwards can't get that one to fall.
That's 3 stops in a row, Pete.
Every team's got a different name for 3 stops in a row. That's what you're trying to get and achieve every quarter. How many, we call them apples, Damon, I'm not sure what they were back then, but how many of them can you get?
And then a foul off the ball from Taron Armstrong.
Holding first.
He can't believe it. They think it was against Marcus Lee.
It is the perfect start to this third quarter. Whatever was said at halftime, we might get a bit of a challenge here. 40 wants to keep the momentum up.
What's better than 3 stops? Getting 4 stops at the defensive end. On the track. He will challenge.
Did your stops reset, Pete, if you gave up a foul and they went to the free throw line? Did it reset? Or I'm counting possessions.
So it was after you got rid of the ball, just keep an eye on the screen there. It was almost just trying to...
There's nothing in that.
Nothing in that.
That's a no call. And Marcus Lee should be taking advantage of Taron Armstrong when he gets a one-on-one like that if they're going to switch.
He probably got lucky. It looked like he tried to just stop himself falling by grabbing the jersey, but didn't get a hold of it or enough of it.
Oh, that right hand.
Right hand, just a little bit kind of tugged at the jersey. Wasn't a heat.
Yeah, it's enough to lose this challenge, though.
You think?
Going with unsuccessful.
Yeah, by the letter of the law, unsuccessful. But by the code of the street,
nothing
play
there,
on.
but right there, just had a little bit of a slight grab at it and missed it, to be fair.
Taron Armstrong still scoreless in this game. 6-5 from the field. Got 4 assists and a couple of rebounds, but also had a couple of turnovers.
I think that's exactly what they're looking at now. Does he actually get a piece of that jersey with the right hand as he's falling? Because everything else in that contest, there's nothing in it.
Is it enough to overturn it?
I think so.
It's successful.
Whoa.
So Adam Ford gets another win. Let's bring in Scott Butler to get an explanation. Scott?
Hey guys, so look, just reviewing the play, what we were looking for was an initial holding foul on Taron Armstrong. There actually is no obvious holding foul on him. So we've wiped the foul, and because the shot is missed, but it's gone straight to Cairns, and they've gathered immediate control, we give the Cairns restart at the baseline.
Thanks, Scott Butler. Well explained. There it is right there. They get another stop. Can they get it within single digits?
Okay.
Groves again, and it's back to within 10.
4 stops in a row. Good offense. Punish the mismatch. Go inside. Make the extra pass. Tanner Groves is having the game of his life.
7-zip run to start this third quarter for Cairns. They've got some momentum. They need to halt this man. Chris Golding. Groves. 40 got a good piece of it.
Might get another one.
Could they go for back-to-back challenges?
40 loves the back-to-back challenge. He loves the back-to-back challenge.
Adam, please let me do my job. Orange 22.
Tanner Groves is adamant. Maybe just some energy and excitement.
Even if this challenge, if they challenge, let's see.
Oh, they've had long enough.
See. Oh, boy. Oh. That's right. Regardless, though, Pete, you got to be happy with what Cairns is doing right now, especially Tanner Groves. Tanner Groves is normally, he gets himself into foul trouble quite often, and so far he's been very well behaved on the defensive end and having a great offensive end so far. So I don't mind that aggression from him, even though that call probably should have went the other way.
I think it'll be more frustrating for Adam Ford is where was this in the first half? That's come to play.
Crowd starting to get involved as well now. They can get Armstrong going. That's going to help. There will be a shooting foul.
That's a veteran play. You heard Chris Golding talking to Ariana Prater walking out off to halftime about they're trying to limit Taron Armstrong's ability to come off the ball screen, and he does that snake dribble where he keeps the defense behind him. Can sometimes get the chicken wing out there, hold his defender behind him. Delhi made a career out of it. But when he gets to that position, he can just slice, dice, pick his way through the defense. They've been really good at limiting that. And he knew they were going to fight over that screen. He stopped on a dime and drew the foul.
He's missed the first 2.
He's also, he just seems to be having one of those games right now. 0 of 5 from the field, 0 of 2 from the line.
He's 4 breaks, missed all 3.
So it comes down to, okay, not to battle too hard, but how else can I impact the game until I see one hit the bottom of the net?
His last 5 games averaging 23 points, 4 assists, shooting the 3-ball at almost 60%. But he's just really struggling tonight. And here he is having to guard Marcus Lee. He does it really well.
He's won.
You got to reward yourself on the offensive end. Was that 6 stops in a row?
And he scored the 2 points, the Chris Golding free throws in this quarter, Melbourne United. Groves gives it back to Armstrong, who's now got Lee, and he's got that ability to get it over the outstretched hands of some of these centres, and now he has to face his demons and go to the stripe again.
He's not missing these two.
And they've done nothing wrong on the defensive end of Cairns Taipans so far, but they just can't get that scoreboard pressure. But if you add them forwards, you still feel confident because Melbourne United only got the 48 points, and you're holding them to under 40% shooting. So this game is so alive right now.
It's 1 of 2, so he's just gone 1 of 5. And now 10 of 17 from the free throw line, Cairns Taipans. Melbourne 8 of 10. They've been struggling themselves, Melbourne United, and then that's too easy.
Overplaying, Pedro Brashaw's denying too hard, sold out on it. Smart back cut. We don't see a whole lot of back cutting going on these days. But Ian Clark's a vet.
Here's Edwards just using his bulk to get Daly out of the way. Wasn't able to get it to go. 2 of 7 from the field. Just 4 points for Rob Edwards. He's another one who has some really big games offensively and then some really quiet ones. Part of this Jekyll and Hyde, as Coach Adam Ford called his own team.
I feel like the window of opportunity is going to close quick because you wouldn't think Melbourne United are going to go in the scoring drought. They've only got the 4 points so far in the 4 minutes. But I just trust them a little bit more on the offensive end, and Cairns got to put a dent in this lead pronto.
They get a baseline out of bounds now because Delhi didn't want to pick that up instead of the backcourt violation.
Groves wants to go alone, wants to go solo. Another one that was halfway down. He's been leading the way, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Backing up his double-double he had last week. And another turnover.
How many stops is that? But what do we run on the offensive end to get a bucket? If you're the Cairns Taipans. I'm looking at Rob Edwards. I'm going to run something for him to get him going.
Either that or Sam Wardenberg.
Yeah.
Sam Wardenberg. 7 points. He's only taken the 2 field goals.
And Armstrong just tried to force it a little bit. Just a little bit too eager to get something going, the youngster. Now Vickerman goes to his bench. Daly knocks that down. Came up big against Tassie in the 4th quarter when they needed a couple of buckets. Wasn't able to get his team over the line, but that's an important one. Stretches it back to 16, yes.
On the tangerine peel. But it was only a matter of time before the Melbourne United got a bucket. And to get that many stops in a row and still be down by 16, Rob Edwards, get your hands up. Delhi just kind of lulls you to sleep. Late contest, paid the price. I feel like they had their window, Pete.
Didn't capitalize on it, did they?
He slipped first when he had the ball. Up here.
7 points for Dellavedova, 5 assists. That's now the 10th consecutive game he's had at least 5 assists. He's been rolling. If he gets that shot to fall, it just adds to their potency. They've got 6 players average double digits this season, Melbourne United. Here's one of them as Armstrong will sit. Just the 1 point to his name. Cameron a bit reckless.
I mean, and Terry Armstrong is going to have offensive growing pains. I mean, he hasn't been on earth that long. But I hope he's not in his head about with NBA GMs because they've seen this before. They just want to see the overall package. And he's like you say, he's going to get his opportunity via camp or drafted, who knows. But a game like this doesn't define him.
Adnam checks in with a whole bunch of youngsters. They turn it over, and that's going to be one of the easiest buckets Chris Golding will ever get.
Can CG still dunk, Pete?
Well, I thought he took off like he normally gets 1 a year, and I think he realised as soon as he picked that up that he's 36, coming off a hamstring.
There's Melbourne United just cranking up the defence, although Cairns will keep possession. Still just shooting just over 30% tonight. Cairns 11 of 35 from the field.
Coming into this game, Rob Edwards and Taron Armstrong.
That's got to be 5-second violation. Everyone thought that Dean Vickman was going to get his challenge.
Shot clock's down to 3. Wardenberg has to step back and let it fly.
For all this hard work there, a bucket from Melbourne United away from being a 20-point margin.
They're missing 38 points from their backcourt. Rob and Taron have combined for 5. Who's going to get the buckets?
For all their stops at the defensive end.
My man!
They're losing the quarter by 1 as Higgins ditched up. Adnam throws it up for the youngster.
I've got all the stock. Give me all the stock I can. This young kid, again, this is what 40 does. He finds gems and they thrive. And I think he's got a massive future ahead of him.
24-year-old from Sydney, coming off 12.6 rebounds another night. Here he is involved again. Adnam, Edwards. Good hands from Rob Lowe. Still nothing going for Edwards. You can see the frustration. Just 4 points. I mean, 2 of 8 shooting.
With the exception of Tanner Grove, they all offensively frustrated. It's just one of those offensive games, and you can only hold a team down for so long. 55 points normally. This is kind of winning basketball to hold a team to score, but
Groves has 5 of their 12 field goals for the Knights.
12 field goals total.
12 field goals in almost 3 quarters.
We're going to get another coach's challenge here.
Yeah, I think they believe came off the leg.
40 having a quick one. Sam Wardenberg. That is the pickle juice. They did have some problems with cramps a few weeks ago as he was coming back. Oh, the double pickle juice. Oh. Oh, thank you.
We grew up eating those Dale pickles. Nice pickle jar. And Mama would keep the jar, use it for a glass.
Oh, I completely forgot the time I asked you about that.
Here's the coach's challenge. The call was a Melbourne
ball.
Yeah, that's off Tanner Groves' quad.
It's one of the easiest challenges.
Tanner Groves, Tanner Krebs.
So this should go to Cairns. As we said, though, for all their hard work defensively this quarter, they've only won the quarter by 1 point. They just haven't been able to get the ball to fall into the bucket. And they do get the ball back, so Coach Ford's in pretty good form.
Get this back to 10 points on 3/4 time. They should be feeling good about themselves because they started consecutive stops first few minutes.
With 39 points, with 3.5 to go in the 3rd quarter, like you ain't beat nobody. I don't care how many stops you get in a row. If you can't score, you ain't winning.
Edwards, again short. Now 12 of 40 from the field as a team.
30%, 25% from 3, and 58% from the free throw line. 10 of 17.
Here's Clark. He was able to get going in that 2nd quarter. 6 quick points, low. Coming off the bench for the first time this season. Just 2 points after his little run of form the last 8 or 9 weeks. He's been averaging almost 17 points a game his last 9 or 10.
I've got the foul, Rob. Control your emotions.
Rob Edwards starting to get frustrated. Let's get back down courtside with Ariana.
Well, Coach Ford did something in the huddle that I haven't seen very often at any basketball games, but he asked his team what they think that they should be doing on offense or what they're seeing out there, and a lot of them said back cuts. So he said, okay, let's run some plays to get some back cuts going. Hopefully that works and things can still be turned around. Listen, I'm a believer anything is possible. There's still a whole 4th quarter left. We'll see what happens. Taron Armstrong has been quiet this whole game, but he's checking back into the ball game, and if they're able to get him going, combine a few stops, I mean, they're only down 15.
I'm hearing you. Anything technically is possible. I mean, it could snow in Cairns. It could. Is it likely to happen?
We've seen crazier things, Damon. That's what we do know.
We have.
Seen crazier things. Back to 14. Now it's about getting some stops. They're able to force some turnovers down this end of the floor this quarter. Krebs way off.
Kyle Bowen set some very good back picks in the offense. Whether they're reads or whether they're part of a play, he just goes and frees up an opponent, a player all the time as Kyle Adnam finds his sweet spot. It's a 12-point ball game. Single digits by three-quarter time.
Just never know. No Golding, no Dellavedova, no Illy on the floor. Clark becomes their scorer.
Mid-range bandit Ed Clark, another professional scorer. You don't want to be trading baskets. You're right, single digits is the goal to get out of this quarter. Punish him!
Youngster getting upstairs. Wasn't able to finish the play. He has to hustle back defensively. Cameron Krebs thought about it. Bowen. Now Clark again with that little mid-range, but there's going to be a foul off the ball. No basket.
Yeah, it's on Flynn Cameron.
Again, Flynn Cameron, who's now picked up his third.
All three are off the ball as well.
14 minutes. For
great ball movement too, Melbourne United. That thing was zinging around.
You know, we talking about Cairns' offensive struggles. Dean is sitting over there looking at that 57 on the board thinking, what the hell are we doing? That's not going to be enough, obviously, for the upper echelon of the teams in the league. And no player tries to miss. But they got to find easier ways to get buckets. Right now, they get nothing from the interior. And I'm not quite sure if Jack White is in Queensland.
Armstrong, Groves, good ball movement. Galloway couldn't get the ball, but Groves, who's by far been their best tonight, 17 points.
5 rebounds for him as well. He's the one who started this third quarter. Some energy plays, the free ball.
Oh, another offensive foul.
Moving screen.
Sammy replay that miss from Galloway, and Groves just wanted it more. Pushed Tanner Krebs underneath the hoop.
Just their second offensive rebound of the night. Cairns. Melbourne have got 11. And that's what comes of it. And all of a sudden, if Adman gets this, they're within 9.
Get Copes on the phone.
You're not allowed to say it.
I won't do it.
Who the great man is.
Yeah, I won't do it.
They've outscored Melbourne by 8. They've kept them to 11. Armstrong trying to pick the pocket of Jack White.
I'd like to see Jack do more of that. Such a good athlete, probably the best athlete on the floor. That is a tough kiss off the glass.
That is a 2-for-1 they were going for. But let's say they got very, very lucky. But maybe the luck is all that Taran Armstrong needed to get going.
It's not a 2-for-1 anyway, because Melbourne just rolled the ball up. Holding the confident start.
The closest they've been since early in the first quarter. They need a stop. Clark. Krebs. He couldn't finish either. And they might get the final shot. Adnam, surely not. But that is good enough to make this one a ball game. And all of a sudden, this game has come.
He said it!
It's a ball game. 8 points the margin, three-quarter time.
350 big ones, thanks to Mick and his team. And guess what? If you come back New Year's Eve, you're in the chance, if you do what Wade did, to win $1,000. But you've got to be here. If you want to be in it, you've got to win it. Let's go, Taipans! NB Corporate is your local corporate dealer, service agent, and corporate time provider. Based in Cairns, NB Corporate serves in Cairns, Boston, Athens, and Taipans.
Well, fair to say it was a pretty sluggish start to this game, but it came to life late with the Cairns Taipans getting rolling, and all of a sudden they're within 8 points at three-quarter time. 51-59, low scoring, but this man, Tanner Groves, Damon, he's impressed you. He's been the standout.
100%. The big man from Spokane, Washington. Those 4 assists are equal tie with Taron Armstrong. He's done a good job of not getting in foul trouble, staying on the floor. He's providing some energy, and I don't know how they're still in this game. We're only down by 8, but it is on now.
It's only going to take for one person to get hot in this fourth quarter. It might be the veteran Adnam.
Gets to his spot in the mid-range, loves it there. 6-point ball game, 8 points now for Kyle Adnam.
Closest they've been since the first quarter. Illy, who's got the 4 fouls. Delve it over.
Here we go, Damon. This is similar to what happened down the night where Chris Golding's minutes restriction. That's going to be an offensive foul.
We see that so often from Matthew Dellavedova. Picks up the charge, and we'll get down to courtside. Ariana, you're listening into the Melbourne United huddle.
Well, Chris Golding talked to his team first before Dean walked over, and he said, listen, guys, on defense, we have to start getting some stops, and on offense, we have to get better ball movement. And then when Coach joined the huddle, he said, listen, we just got to simplify our game. We're overthinking things. Let's get back to what we did in that first half, run our plays, and we'll get some good looks. But I think I see a snowflake outside the window because the Taipans are within 6, Damon. It might be snowing in Cairns.
It's getting chilly over there up north.
Very good, Ariana.
Oh, you got to shoot that for Tanner Groves.
You're the only one that kept the faith, and they within 6. And they can close the gap even more here. Armstrong likes the matchup. Higgins Titcher, who knocked down some threes last week.
Oh, that's going to be
good hustle from Groves, who's providing some energy.
Tanner's doing everything. That third quarter, they held Melbourne United to 13 points, and Melbourne United had 8 TOs. That's how they still in the game.
Chris Golding's played the 19 minutes. He had the 25-minute restriction against Tasmania. It's got to be at least 27. Surely it goes up a little bit. They don't play again until January 4th.
Wow, Kyle! Kyle winding back the clock. He might be the man with the hot hand. He's into 10 points on 4 of 8 shooting. Melbourne, what are they going to roll with on offense? Delve it over. White, who's been struggling with that 3 ball.
Notice something against Tasmania with Jack White. When he steps into his 3-ball, left, right, stride, stop, catch and shoot, it's money. Anytime he's got to catch with a jump stop or it's a right, left, it seems to be off a little bit, but this is a great fight back from Cairns. This is where which team has the composure down the stretch.
Fourth quarters have been an issue for Cairns all season. They've lost their last 12 fourth quarters. Coach Ford spoke to you guys pre-game, said they need to trust one another when it gets to this situation. And Adnam forced the turnover. White drops the shoulder, delve it over. He's going to keep letting it fly. He's going to keep coming up short, and that could have been dangerous. Nothing sinister.
Melbourne United 5. Marcus is fine, everybody. Yep. Melbourne United 5 of 34 from the downtown, 15%. And yeah, a bit of an undercut. Lucky he didn't break a wrist or something, landing like that.
34 of their 62 field goal attempts have been 3-pointers. Melbourne United. Marcus Lee's going to take his time. We are going to have a Tangerine timeout. There will be a coach's challenge. We'll be back right after this.
This will be a fascinating coach's challenge. Not. Look at this little replay here, actually.
Box out.
I'm not sure if Taran Armstrong actually moves until Marcus Lee is already in the full rodeo position. Yeah, I think he's just standing there, and Marcus Lee kind of comes over the back, and then he moves underneath after that.
I like it.
You thinking Coach Ford might win this again?
That'll be 4 in a row if he gets this one.
Well, that'll be 3. Counting's 3.
3. All right, then calm down.
I reckon you might be right here, Pete. It doesn't look like Taran Armstrong has done anything wrong. He's been the guy they've picked on the referees tonight. He might win again.
Let's go, guys.
We're back to live play. There was a coach's challenge here. The foul against Taran Armstrong, and it's been unsuccessful from Coach Adam Ford. Pete, you had a good look at it. You felt that Armstrong held his position, but...
Well, they're tough. The tunnelling called. They're so often called. Scott Butler will tell us more.
Now let's find out from Scott. What was the explanation there, Scott?
Hey guys, so when you process the division from camera 7, you see them both bracing for the usual, rebound contest. But then as Lee elevates, Armstrong then actually moves underneath him, and that's that last bit there, and that's the part that needs to be called. And that's why that penalty will stand.
Fair enough.
Thank you, Scott. Move on. Dole it over. Good little find for Lee. But there's Galloway playing some strong defence, but again an offensive opportunity.
Adam Ford's come in with Kyron Galloway. And Chris Golden is still sitting over there on 19 minutes. 19 minutes and 15 points.
Now Ellie White is going to try his luck again. 4th time round, he gets it to fall.
And it was again, though, left-right. There's a stark difference when he catches it and his feet set in rhythm.
They got within 4, it's back to 9. They just need to stay the course here, Cairns.
I was going to ask this question, and I'm not going to carry on. If Chris Golding was to play a minute over the restricted amount, would the world come to an end? What would actually happen? Is it apocalypse?
Here's Armstrong trying to get the work. Hasn't been his night, but he can have an important 4th quarter here. Pulls up.
I would have liked to see that go to Tanner Groves. Shea Illy's got 4 fouls. And then, oh, look at Tanner
Groves. Rundown block. Creates the fast break opportunity. Edwards decides to
bound out.
Call out. That's Flynn Cameron. That'll be his 4th foul.
Sorry, Joe, I'm carried away.
Here's the Amy replay, Damon. Get excited about this.
I'm sorry, man. Tanner Groves didn't get the post up that he thought he should have got. It didn't distract him from playing both ends of the floor and beat that against the glass. This is, without a shadow of a doubt, Tanner Groves' best game of the season.
Rob Edwards just needs to keep going towards the hoop there on that fast break. Would have had a layup. Trying to flare out to the 3-point line.
He's doing everything tonight, Tanner Groves. His 2nd block shot, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Now he gets it into Wardenberg. There's the back cut they were trying to get, and it's going to be a turnover.
I know they were setting up for it. You heard Ariana say that that's what the players wanted in a timeout, but I want to see an aggressive Sam Wardenberg there. He hasn't gone to his 1-2 dribble fadeaway in the block at all this game.
Just 1 of 3 from the field, Sam Wardenberg. He's been able to get some points at the free throw line, but hasn't scored since midway through the 2nd quarter. As Melbourne knocked up their 13th turnover of the night. Armstrong.
Here it is.
Chris Golding was speaking about. Antonio was ready and waiting. Instead, wants to go for the easier play to Groves, who throws it down.
Good extra pass. I thought maybe Kyle Adman probably should be on the floor, but you got another shooter, obviously, in John Antonio. And good decision, not challenging Rob Lowe at the rim.
Sam Wardenberg runs straight off after this.
Interesting, Pete, because that was an intentional foul.
It was.
From Wardenberg, but
he was trying to get off.
Because he knew he was cramping. We hope it's just cramp.
He seems to be having a problem with cramps. Anytime he misses time, hopefully that's all it is.
It's the lob pass to White, who gets a couple of Taipans in the air.
Anytime Jack White gets around the rim, he's going to out-athleticize you. Good job by Delhi, finding him on back cuts, lobs.
He's going to what?
Out-athleticize.
Yep, we'll go with it.
Yep. We know that we're almost halfway through our 12 days of Christmas competition, and as part of that, we have the 12 days of giveaways unlocking each day with epic prizes from our sponsors. Visit nbl.com.au/Christmas to enter your last chance. Today is the last day.
Last day, get on that.
That's gone quick.
Has, hasn't it?
A lot of basketball.
A lot of basketball to come too. On the business end, the exciting part.
Plenty of basketball through January as well. Finals going to creep up on teams. Every win now. Every game's important. Particularly for Melbourne United, who want to remain second on the ladder. The Warriors, no doubt, show themselves to be the benchmark of the competition. There are teams making runs. Tassie, Sydney, Brisbane. And Antonio knocks down another triple.
That was good D by Ian Clark, and then they over-helped out of the corner. Left Joan open for three. That's a charge.
Great defense from Armstrong.
Picked it. Picked the right direction. The team's just hit a three. Great take from Taron Armstrong, and this is a big possession here for Cairns. There's Sam Wardenberg getting worked on.
He's really struggling.
He's been in the wars this season.
When the last cramp trouble he had was when everyone was injured and he was having to play nearly the entire games and was really giving 110 miles an hour every single possession.
Well, back within 6. Edwards still struggling.
That's 0 for 5 from downtown for Rob Edwards, but it's a two-possession game.
David Lowry numbers.
Golding. Did that one to go?
I will check your numbers, Keith. I don't quite remember your career. I have to go deep in the archives, but I'm sure some comedy in there somewhere.
Here's Adnan, who has been shooting the ball well. Groves. Adnan again, looking to create. There's a good feed. Higgins couldn't finish around the paint.
Yeah, but that's the trust that Adam Ford's talking about. That's okay. They just need to stop. I'd like to see that more from Jack White. I don't think he pushes the ball hard enough in transition when he gets the rebound himself. One of the best athletes in the competition. Can put the ball on the floor, is unique in that aspect. Good finish.
Yeah, he's had 10 double-doubles this year, Jack White, including both times against Cairns. #1 in the competition for rebounds. Again, he's just consistent numbers, isn't he? 14 points and 7 rebounds. The man that's also starting to show some real consistency with his performance, particularly over the last 5 or 6 games. He's only played 11 for the season. Is this man Tanner Groves, and he just continues to develop.
When you talk about imports, and like even though the season is over for the Cairns Taipans, the imports, they're playing for contracts. Now, obviously, you know, guys got different agendas, but I'm sure Tanner Groves probably likes it out here, likes it in the league. And I think he's an Adam Ford kind of a guy, a real meat and potatoes, grimy kind of a dude who just gives you maximum effort. So it's good to see him having a breakout kind of a game.
Been in good form over the past 5 weeks leading into this one. Tonight, it's probably been his best all-round performance. They're going to need every bit of him. He's also struggling for breath, you can see there, but with Wardenberg really struggling.
Sam's done for the night. When you got your socks and shoes off, he's done.
Who do they turn to here down the stretch? Do they go to one man, Pete, or do they just trust their system when you're trying to get on offense?
You have to trust your system. That's a drawn-up play, executed perfectly. They came up short, because that's what Adam Ford wants to see. That's what they did with the review this week. So you've had 2 good looks, you've missed. Now you need to trust your defense.
It's the defense of Golding. Gives it up. Clark has been knocking them down all night.
Bucket all day long.
12 points, 6 of 10 shooting.
Scored all 3 levels in, Clark. Been doing it his whole life.
Galloway will try again. This time he gets it to go. They're still within touch.
Can't trade baskets.
Melbourne, of course, don't play till Jan 4 when they head over to Adelaide. As touched on earlier. Cairns have to back up again on New Year's Eve as Rob Edwards caught one across the face. He's already been banged up, might actually be poking the eye. One of those sort of nights for Rob Edwards. Again, Tanner Groves did really well on the defensive end to get the ball back and then finger in the eye.
The other eye, he's got a cut above the left eyebrow.
It's never funny when you get one finger in the eye, but back in the day when the Hunter Pirates was in the league, and Import got scratched on the eye, he went into the halftime, Joe, and he came out wearing an eye patch.
He did not.
He did. He's wearing an eye patch. That was comedy. This isn't.
Yeah, there was not too long ago, Kill Mitchell for the break as his eye popped out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was watching that. Don't bring that up. That was...
We're talking eye injuries. Doesn't get much worse than that.
Final 3 minutes. Armstrong back on the floor. Adnam stays out there. Groves has been the man. He wants to go to work. Lowe playing some good defense. But in the end, just hand in the cookie jar and we'll send Groves to the stripe.
Nobody got open. Well, Rob Lowe did a pretty decent job with the last minute. I thought Tanner Groves might have shot him a little chicken wing to the guts. Either way, he's on the stripe. And these two got to go in.
And Adnam will sit and allow the starter, Rob Edwards, to finish the game. Do you like that? Rob Edwards, 2 of 10 shooting tonight. Cole Adnam's shooting well. He's gone to his starter. Trust.
It's usually what most coaches will do. I think everyone starts to question it now because Josh King from the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix hasn't been doing it. He's been doing the opposite.
Yeah, some players got more equity with the coaches than others. So he's going to trust Rob to see if he can bring them home.
Still just can't get within one bucket. Oh, there's Lowe.
Rob Lowe dunking on people is no longer a freak occurrence.
Become the norm, hasn't it?
Rob Lowe might have the best highlight package of the season when it's all said and done.
A two-hander at that.
Can a 34-year-old win most improved?
I tell you what, there's been some unusual candidates at times.
This will probably break the run of 9 consecutive games in double digits. He's only got the 4 points tonight.
You normally see the jump from someone who hasn't played a whole lot to exploding onto the scene. And the other jump that can get you in there is being a good role player into an MVP type conversation. But he's been unbelievable.
And there he is doing enough for the defensive ends. Edwards' tough night continues and then Grove picks up the foul. And he may have just weathered the storm here, Melbourne United.
Foul discipline now. Last possession when Rob Lowe got the two-hand dunk. They thought he should have been an illegal screen. A couple guys stopped playing. Rob kept playing. And now that looked like a frustration foul.
It's always going to be a tough task when you put in that first half performance like they did. They had to fight back so hard. To credit for that, because they definitely came out with a different mindset in the third quarter. Got it back to within a couple of field goals early in this fourth. Oh, Adam's going to come check back in here.
Chris Golding for 16 points.
4 fouls for Tanner Groves.
Don't foul out now, Tanner.
Orange 22 is the first foul.
Don't default back.
We have a technical foul. Orange 22.
Oh, no.
There he goes.
Oh,
no.
And I believe, and I quote, Damon Lowry said he's done a great job of staying out of foul trouble tonight. He fouls out a few times, but just has the one, and I thought it was a little early. because that is his night done with the technical foul.
Tanner.
That might almost be the night for Cairns Taipans.
Okay, thank you. Let's go, Chris.
Groves with the 20 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, a couple of block shots. That'll be his night over.
In the 5 fouls. Never a good time to foul out. But like you said, Pete, Cairns, they had their shots. They cut it to 5. And to all the other teams out there in the league looking at Melbourne United struggle to score. What is going on?
It would just be enough, you would think. Golding, who was on fire early, hasn't been able to find it ever since. There's a little nugget for you. Pete, he's got 5 rebounds tonight, Chris Golding. Last time he's had more was March 2022, and he had 7 rebounds. So he's doing a bit of everything, Chris Golding. And there's Daly. Unusual for him, aware of the shot clock.
Good offense, or bad offense, or good defense, can't tell. I'm going to lean towards the bad offense, but Shea Illies came on and started this 4th quarter on 4 fouls. Now, he did what Tanner Groves couldn't do, managed to stay on the floor and doing all the little things. He just got the last offensive rebound. So Dino's trust factor with Shea is extremely high.
36% from the field for Cairns, 9 of 30 from 3, and 13 of 21 from the free throw line. Tough to win games shooting like that.
Remarkably, Cairns, if they keep Melbourne under 77 points, that'll be their lowest they've kept any team to all year. And it still won't result in a win. Here's Golding. Use all his experience, he'll take his time.
Has Chris hit a shot since he got subbed out when he was on a miniature heater?
Yeah, a 3. He hasn't hit a 3. He was 3 of 4. And then got subbed out at the 3-minute mark of the first quarter. So sometimes Damon sits there and has to really think hard for his column. And sometimes he's just gifted it.
I'll work it out.
You got some suggestions for me?
I don't think I need to, based on some of your pork chop levels of carry on next to me.
It's the Who Ya Hearting Up on NBL.com. I enjoy reading your thoughts there, David.
Thanks, Joey. Little backhanded compliment from Pete over there.
Yeah, well,
I mean, he swipe. I put in quotes, thoroughly enjoyed.
Just checking whether ball was out of bounds, I think, first.
Well, it's a free challenge because of the time on the clock. That looks like it comes off Shaley's elbow.
Will be a Melbourne United ball.
Maybe not.
Technically only a 3-possession game.
Here's Golding. Stepped out of bounds. And this one, I don't think we'll make too many sort of highlight reels this game. But in the end, Melbourne, if they can get the win, that's all that matters. After 4 losses, get their season back on track. As we said, they don't play until next Saturday, so they get a 9-day break before they play Adelaide in their summer shootout game. And then they've got New Zealand and Sydney as well away after that.
Now, you take an ugly win over a pretty loss any day of the week. So,
what have you seen from Melbourne in the last 4 or 5 games? Is it Damon, Pete, is it a little sort of rut they're in, or do you think there's some concerns about their championship credentials? Is there something the opposition have seen? What do you sort of see in Melbourne United?
Well, again, I looked at the other 4 games. The 4 games they lost, and the pace that teams clearly were trying to attack them every opportunity they got, because their best defense is when they can be set. You can have Shaley, you can have Delhi really harass the guards, and then you've got Jack White who can protect the rim. He's a great off-ball defender as well. So that was a standout, and they got beat up on the glass by the Hawks as well. Now they go on the road. So Adelaide, that's a big game. That is the start of the summer shootout as well. And Sydney away, the Breakers, Illawarra and Perth. So there's no easy games.
And that's a tough schedule. And I, of course, got no sympathy for you. But that New South Wales road trip, you know, they could have probably stacked those close together, but make them go to New Zealand and then come back to the Wara. That's just the way it goes.
Well, of course, these 7 games away because of the Australian Open at John Cain Arena. So you look in previous history. Last year they went 3-4 on their 7-game road trip. The year before they went 5-2, and in NBL22 they went 6-1.
As I said in the pre-game show, though, the beautiful part about being on the road, it gets you a chance to be together, to obviously bond, but Dean Vickerman doesn't talk to the playing group after a win or a loss. He never has. He just wants everyone to sit on it until the following day. When you're on a road trip, when you go back to a hotel, you're going to marinate it with it. So if you have things to fix, they're going to have to address that and attack it head on, which could be great for them.
Clark couldn't finish. One last chance here for Cairns. Then they finish in a flurry. Not with Marcus Lee on the floor. He puts it to bed. One of the leading shot blockers in the competition.
This game, 73-64. Now, Adelaide host Perth on Saturday night. That game will triple this score.
Yep.
This will be Cairns' best
word.
result for the year.
Clean up on our 9.
They have not kept an opposition to a lower score, Cairns.
Armstrong had Marcus Lee playing Twister. 1 of 9. He's had a tough night.
Just can't get right, the Cairns Taipans. They get their best defensive effort, Joey, on the same night as their worst offensive effort. Normally it's the other way around, and CG.
A little exclamation mark from CG, who shrugs his shoulders because he's gone 4 of 13, but he will finish with 19 points. And in the end, they are going to get a 10-point win. It wasn't pretty, Damon, but as you said, an ugly W is better than a pretty L. And Melbourne United, the start of a 7-game road trip, will be happy to get out of a venue that hasn't really been a happy hunting ground. They'd lost their previous 3 at the Cairns Convention Centre. They walk away tonight with a 10-point win.
Yeah, Dean, like, you know, they're not a finished product. Nobody is right now. And Dean's just going to try to just chip away at all the little things that they Achilles healed the moment to get them playing good basketball in February. Right now, this is just the start of it. So, yep, you take a win and just get out of here.
No real standout. Chris Golding becomes our Foot Locker player of the game for 19 points, 5 rebounds, as we mentioned. And he'll be pleased that at least he's now fit. He's got a couple of games under his belt, something for the team to work on. But more importantly, they get the win.
They do. They, as you said, just get it any way you can. Hasn't been a happy hunting ground, but they get a win and can build off that. A lot of rest now. New Year, that game against the Adelaide 36ers, it's going to be feisty.
Looking forward to a new year and maybe a new Melbourne United as they try and get back in a title contention. In the end, it was a 10-point win. We're back right after this to wrap it all up.
Well, Melbourne United were just desperate to get the win. They came to town and they got the job done. It wasn't pretty, but they will take it. They led by 12 points at quarter time, 17 at the half. Cairns made a run in the third quarter. They led by 8, and Cairns got within 4 early in the fourth quarter. But Melbourne United, led by that man Chris Golding, were too professional to get the job done. 76-66. They now get to go home, spend a week in their beds, and get ready for the new year. Damon Lowry, Pete Hooley. Tough watch, but what'd you make of it?
I mean, look at the rebound count. That is a monstering. And again, credit Cairns for coming out at halftime and fixing some things. If they played like that all game long, they're a chance to win it. But because you have to do so much work just to get back in the game, it's always going to be hard to stop the runs that Melbourne United put together in the fourth quarter.
The Cairns Taipans, they get another loss. That makes it 14 in a row, Damon. But, I mean, the energy was better in the second half. And here's Kyle Adden, the veteran, just speaking to his troops after the game. Look, I'm on a words restriction, Joey. I ain't got a whole lot else to say.
That is impossible with you. Impossible.
Nah, look, Cairns Taipans, I don't know what to tell you guys, but you're playing for pride, and you showed us a glimpse of it. Now you just have to extend it. And as we look at their next 5 games away, well,
someone's streaking.
Can they win that? Can they win against New Zealand?
Someone's streaking.
New Year's Eve.
That game.
Massive opportunity. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. So they need to hold the faith. Maybe they can break the drought in a few days' time. But there is Chris Golding, as we said, the 19 points. Wasn't his best shooting night, but he came up big when they need him, particularly late. We'll take a look at the Mitsubishi Motors ladder now and what it means for Melbourne United. It cements them 2 games clear in second spot. We know how important a top 2 finish is. And you can see Cairns, they are really struggling. But as we said, 9v10 on New Year's Eve. One of those teams will get a much-needed win. Of course, the Hungry Jacks NBL continues tomorrow night. There are a couple of huge games. Absolutely, if you want to see 2 teams that are scoring on offence at the moment, the Brisbane Bullets, Pete, and the Illawarra Hawks. Let's hope that's more high-scoring than this one.
Yeah, I definitely will be. Illawarra Hawks, they're putting up 110 plus with ease. But that one on Saturday night, defence, well, it's not even optional, it's just non-existent.
Yeah, you'll be there in Adelaide to see, hopefully, another shootout, and there are the rest of the games. The Hawks, again, will be in action. Damon, your boys are absolutely flying, and there is the game, Cairns v the Breakers. Well, thank you for your company tonight. I hope you enjoyed that game. In the end, it was Melbourne United by 10 points.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.